First on the list, dude. Avatar, The Last Airbender on Netflix, live adaptation.
So, as of right now, I haven't had too much time to keep watching, but I have made it to episode 4. So I'm halfway through, at the exact halfway point.
Okay. Well, you are familiar with the source, and I mean, you actually introduced it to me, so you are well versed in the Avatar. Do you mind if we speak spoilers?
No, not at all.
Cool. All right. Well, you being the Avatar guy, what were your initial thoughts on the Netflix adaptation? What do you think? Did they fail? Did they knock it out of the park?
So my initial thoughts, episode 1. I jumped in and I was like, okay, there's a couple of differences. I actually didn't mind. I actually liked that they changed up beginning from episode 1. They showed a little bit of the backstory, Sozin's Comet. They showed how the war started. That was cool.
I like that as well.
Just a lot of like background information that we never really got to see animated got done in the live action. That was really cool. But then we jump in and we meet Aang. That's cool. There's a couple of differences there. You're supposed to. I'm not gonna nitpick. I see a lot of people online nitpicking about it.
Yeah. It's inevitable. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
It is inevitable.
But I will say episode 1 started with some nasty CGI.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. Minaram, he got a head start on us, and he was texting. He's like, dude, that CGI is garbage. He was just dogging it. I'm like, oh, no. Before I started watching it, But when I started playing, it's like, oh, yeah. When he's flying, it looks like Dragon Ball Evolution. It's bad, dude. It's rough.
And then also, like, when they introduce Appa and they're like, oh, we gotta go, and he hugs Appa. Dude, it looks awkward. Like, you can tell Appa's CGI, the background is just it was not very good.
Was it Flash bad?
Not Flash bad. Luckily, the flying bison did look a lot better than the babies. Dude, those babies were nasty. They were atrocious. Do you remember back in the day that old, I don't even want to say cartoon, but Reboot? Does that ring any bells in your head? Reboot? Those blue alien people? Those like 3D polygon graphics? That's what the Flash was to me.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not I think Reboot was better, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But yeah.
Avatar wasn't that bad.
No, it was nowhere near that bad. It was
it gets cleaner as you progress. Thankfully, it gets much better.
Sure. But yeah, I do like how they changed a couple of the aspects. I'm gonna go on record and say I never wanted a carbon copy of the material, the original source. Same with Yu Yu Hakusho. I never wanted a carbon copy. I don't mind that they changed things. I don't mind that they cut certain things out that may not work for live action.
Yeah.
And I feel like Avatar did a good job of it.
They're cutting out the fat, essentially.
Yeah,
man, I gotta agree with you. It's once you get past the ugly CGI, which isn't for very long.
No. It was like episode 1, and then we're solid.
They cleaned up. I don't know. Maybe the newbie got a hold of episode 1, but
yeah.
But story wise, like, dude, I was in. I generally have my 3-episode rule, give or take. But like on episode 1, I was like, yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking the story. I think what did it for me more was kind of like you mentioned earlier. They dove into the past a little bit more a lot sooner than what they do in the cartoon. Really, from the get go, you kind of know what's going on. With the whole war and how he's lost in time. Basically, he's in the future, 100 years in the future, and you kind of realize that you pretty much have the whole story in your hand. You just got to see it play out. And I think it really helped as a viewer. And I say that because I have seen Avatar the cartoon like all the way through, but it's been years since I've watched it. So there was a lot of details that were coming up and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this, I remember that. So it flowed very well. It flowed very cleanly. And I there was a few things that I could tell were different from the cartoon, but I didn't mind it too much. It worked well with the story, the way that they were telling it.
Yeah. So I guess going forward a little bit more, there are differences in the sense that, the characters, the way that they wrote them out, they're still the same characters. They're just not as exaggerated, I don't think, which I think was a genius move. Like Sokka still makes jokes and he's still sarcastic. And when, his sarcasm comes out, it's like to the perfect level. Katara, I know there's a couple of times where she talks about, oh, my mother died and blah, blah, blah. And, in the cartoon, she's notorious for like every other episode, like, oh, you don't know about my mother? Let me tell you my life story. And, she has a couple moments in the live action, but they definitely cut that back.
Sure, yeah.
Aang is supposed to be, super hyper, kid who wants to have fun. And he still feels that way, just not to, the greatest extent that he did. But it works for live action. Imagine if, say, for example, I don't know, like when they try to adapt anime into live action, sometimes the things that happen in anime happens, and it works because it's animated. It's anime. It's a cartoon. But in live action, it doesn't translate well. And so I think they were able to tone the characters down to like just the right amount in between like live action and animated.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it. I do have to, well, you said you got halfway into the series. I have to, okay, slight spoiler here. Sokka,
Go ahead.
Oh man, I didn't like him. I liked him at first.
Really?
Because they made him more serious. More of the straight man in the group. More or less, he was cracking a couple jokes here and there, but for me, they didn't land. It didn't feel like Sokka, but I liked this version of him where he's the straight man. That way, it leaves Aang with a little more of the comedic of the group. I did like that. However, the second half of the season, I dislike what they do with Sokka. And the second half. It's like he gets dumber and dumber as you progress. And he starts to revert into more of what like the cartoon version of him is. And in some ways, I was like, okay, that's Sokka. But it doesn't make sense to me with the character Sokka that was introduced in the beginning of this season. Like, it wasn't fluent. They weren't consistent with his character. And I didn't like it. It's like, that's not the same serious, leader type of guy that we met in the first episode. It didn't work for me.
Okay. I mean, would it be fair to say it's because he's become a little bit more exposed to the world? Keep in mind, at the beginning, he was like, oh, we've never been outside of the South Pole. And so he's experiencing things. When he meets Suki, he falls in love really quickly. Because that's like the first person that's not in his village that he meets. That's like his age.
Yeah. Yeah, I do get where you're trying to go, but nah, man. It's...
No?
No.
It's bad,
It's bad. It gets bad. You have to watch it.
Oh, man.
You got to watch it.
I'm going to have to watch it. Yeah. So going back to Suki, going back to Kyoshi Island, dude, so something that I was hoping happened actually ended up happening in the live action.
Sokka took his shirt off?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. It is so good. No. So Zuko comes... Aang's at the temple. He's meditating. He's talking to Avatar Kyoshi. And I'm over here thinking, okay, that's cool. I like that they're trying to represent the other avatars more, because in the cartoon, he talks to Avatar Roku almost exclusively. And so, they're finally they're allowing him to talk to Kyoshi.
Oh, we got a new challenger.
Oh, shit.
Party people.
What up?
What's going on?
A few moments later.
So, Avatar Aang is at the temple. He's talking to Kyoshi or whatever. Zuko comes in and he starts, attacking people. Katara holds him off for a split second and he turns into fucking Kyoshi. And Kyoshi comes in and fucking wrecks shop.
Dude. It was tight. It was pretty cool.
I loved it. I love that they were able to incorporate the other avatars more than the cartoon.
It did kind of feel to me though like a Final Fantasy summon. Like
yeah, that's exactly how it felt.
It looked cool, and they even kind of like put a new spin on it. You can only summon past avatars when you're in this vicinity, or whatever it was.
And at the temple, yeah.
Right. So it's not like OP, you know. It was different. It was new. It was cool. It was cool to see.
Dude, I loved it. What did you think, Minarum?
Well, I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10 like One Piece was, but I rate it probably an 8 or 9 out of 10. It was damn good.
Okay.
It was damn good.
You finished all the way through, right?
Yeah, I watched it all. It was fun. It was fun. It was good. For me, not, I watched some of it back in the day with the next of mine. I couldn't get into it. That's why I said, I actually really enjoyed the movie for what it was. But this, I mean, it was more thorough, more information, more stuff. It was fun. It was fun. There's might have been only like one episode where I was kind of bored out of my mind, but otherwise it was pretty damn good. The CGI was kind of ass at the beginning, and then like the rest of the season, besides like the last episode or last two episodes, there was a few moments where they Blade 2, they kind of chopped it up, but otherwise the CGI was great besides those parts. Yeah. But otherwise, man, great, must watch. It was damn good. It was damn good.
Yeah, I agree.
It was fun.
Definitely.
But yeah. They're chopping out a lot of the side story. And I told my wife too, I'm kind of glad they did that, because if they didn't, they'd be going from island to island to island to island, and it'd be 5-10 minutes at each island, and let's go. True. So they kind of took a lot of events that happened at different islands, different cities, and put it all into one area. So they go to the city of Omashu, and things that happened in different cities, different towns, are happening here. And I saw a lot of people complaining, oh, they never met these people in Omashu, they met them over on this island. And it's like, bro, like, it doesn't work as well. Exactly, yeah. So long as you're not changing the story completely, the story's working just fine. It works perfectly for live action.
Yeah, for the cuts and the editing to the story that they did, it flowed well. It flowed very nice.
Yeah,
I barely really even thought about it.
Like the kid who's in a wheelchair, his dad's the inventor, the engineer or whatever. They're supposed to meet them at one of the air temples, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I want to say they're living at one of the air temples.
Yes, I remember that.
And I kind of wish we could have gotten to see one of the other air temples, but how much different is it going to be from the one that we saw at the beginning, Yeah. So, like, I get why they cut that out. But people were pissed. They're like, dude, there are people shitting on it because of these minute differences. Like, oh, I don't remember them ever being in Omashu. Like, why are they here? It's like, get the fuck out of here.
They changed it, but it works. It works very well, and it kind of stays close enough to the source, I feel. And you said it earlier, dude. Like, it's a good blend between something new and the source material. And I can't say it enough, dude. Like, it has a good flow.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing though that I do have to complain though. I was waiting for Bernard to come out so I could crap on it. But
all right.
The water girl, Katara, she feels broken. She feels like she's got that Dragon Ball Super arc where she's weak as hell in the beginning, and like 3 episodes later, she's like the strongest waterbender of all of them. Like, she progressed way too fast. It didn't make sense.
Okay.
For the speed that she was going to, like, I think it was like episode 4, maybe, where it was. She's like, she randomly makes ice blocks. It's like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
I didn't see that on the scroll.
She copied that from the
from the scroll, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. There's no like.
There's no progression. It's a straight jump.
Right. I want to say she copied that from the Earth dude, the old Earth dude.
Yeah,
because he did the same exact thing, but with Earth.
Yeah, which is cool. She's a visual learner. She even said like she's a fast learner, which is fine. It's great, but like, she was OP, dude. She's self-trained. She's never like done anything, and she wasn't on par with the Water Master guy. She faces off with him, and she gets whooped. But she's like doing a pretty damn good job.
She holds her own.
Yeah.
Big time.
It just feels like it's way too fast for her.
It's only an 8-episode thing, man. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, but she's not, even in that point of time, she's not supposed to be master level. Like, wait till season 2.
No, not master level.
Yeah, wait till season 2 for her to progress and get stronger.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, if you think about it, at the end of season 1 in the cartoon, they're supposed to be in the north water temple, not temple. Now you got me saying temple.
I'm putting up some Zelda.
But there you go. Yeah,
The North Tribe.
the North Tribe, and she's supposed to fight Paku, which is supposed to be their master who trains them, whatever. And she holds her own in the cartoon too. And I get, the timeline feels a little bit longer in the cartoon, but that's because we got more episodes. In the live action, they're cutting out fat. So I get what you're saying. Visually, it's not believable, but maybe if you look at the amount of time that they've been traveling together now, maybe that'll change your mind a little bit more. But I think visually is what you're talking
visually,
about,
just the flow of it. Because I mean, I pretty much binged it. It's like, 3 hours ago you could barely move water, and now like it just felt.
There's obviously a time gap in between each episode.
It just doesn't feel
for the
like
most part.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Another thing I will complain about: the water effects look good, but maybe it's just me. Every time she threw water at somebody, it didn't look like it hurt, but the character's like, oh, like, dude.
Same with the flame. That's how I felt about the Flame Warriors.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a lot of like episode 1, 2 where they're just shooting fireballs. It's like, dude, what the? That doesn't even look like it hurt at all. But then you got the main dude that's like setting someone on fire. I'm like, okay, that one, obviously,
yeah. So I actually said something similar to my wife when we were watching the water. I kind of wish it would have been a little bit more fluid, because they pick up a bottle of water and it's just splishing and splashing everywhere, and you do your water whip or whatever, and it looks like I'm just throwing a bucket of water at you. Like, it doesn't look painful. I 100% agree with what you're saying. I wish they could have changed up the water bending a little bit, but I can definitely see what you're talking about, kind of, Minarum, with the fire. But I would definitely be a lot more afraid of fire than water.
Thinking of the element, like, I mean, that shit's gonna burn.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't take a very long for it to fuck up your skin,
Although back to what Minar was saying, the Fire Lord. Oh man, what an asshole,
dude!
Dude. I mean, his face, the facial, like, they casted him perfectly, dude. He looks fucking menacing.
Dude, the casting on this show is awesome.
Yeah.
The women are hot. They've got a bunch of old school actors playing all these Asian. Dude, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I love the Liu Kang versus Liu Kang fight earlier. That was great. At least that's what I felt like when they both took the shirt off. I'm like, dude, it's Liu Kang versus Liu Kang.
Dude, the opening scene where it's the one earthbender against like 5 firebenders, dude, that scene was awesome.
Yes.
And then just how he was like, oh yeah, they're not our real targets. I just fucking tricked y'all. Dude, I fucking love that opening scene.
Yeah, it was really good.
There's a lot of big name actors in this show.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the Fire Nation. There's like at least 3 or 4 big name actors.
I think the only casting that I wasn't 100% with visually was May, the girl with the knives.
The sister?
One of Azula's friends.
Oh, okay.
Not the acrobat, but the other girl, the emo girl. Okay. But that's the only one I think, like, visually, I don't see it. But I'm not complaining too much about it.
It's hard to get a face like that.
For sure.
When you're all square and rectangles and stuff. Good luck.
Yeah.
But even the sister, Azula, visually, she didn't really land the casting for me, but her acting, like the way she played the character,
the acting, her mannerisms,
she's badass. I liked her. She didn't look like the character, but I liked her in the role.
Yeah, and I mean, but when you think about it, these are supposed to be like, like, I think Azula is supposed to be like anywhere from like 14 to 16. These characters, some of these characters, with the exception of Aang and Katara, I think they're a little bit younger. They did fucking great.
Uncle, we said it from the very beginning. Perfect casting. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's fucking badass. You didn't see this yet, Kay, but like after episode 4, when they go into Zuko's backstory, dude. Fuckers.
Yeah.
Damn it, dude. They almost.
Let me see.
What we talking about here?
Which one? The funeral?
When they go into like Iroh's his son's funeral.
Oh, son funeral. Okay.
Yeah. I saw that part. Yeah, I did see that. I think that was like in episode 4, where Zuko was about to walk off, and he comes back and he gives him like some medallion. That yeah. That was a good scene.
Man. But like the ending of that, after he gets burnt off, But,
dude, that's messed up.
Yeah, that shit was ooh.
Yeah. And then it kind of shows why Iroh chose to go with him too, though. Because he was the only one. Like even Ozai, his brother, was just like, "Oh, sorry, later, dude." Like everyone was just like, peace out. And Zuko was the only one to stay and like sit with him, take time with him.
Yeah. I think they did a really good job telling more of his backstory, like why he's such a little dick.
And it showed that bond.
Yeah.
Like how they created that bond and why they're so close.
For sure. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was really good.
Yeah.
So I definitely highly recommend it for anybody.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Definitely. The way it ended, we're skipping quite a few, but you get the general idea what's happening here. But the way it ended, I don't remember who said it, but they said it ends at the same point where the movie ends.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I guess it's a good spot to end it.
That's the first book or whatever they call it. Volume book, whatever. Yeah, that's one of the first.
Book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The first season, the first book, that's where it ends, which is a really good stopping point, I think.
The ending between the show versus the movie is completely different, but it's the same point, location.
Yeah.
So, it ends at the same location, but the way it ends, completely different.
I'm gonna have to keep watching it.
Yeah. I never watched the anime too much, though. So I don't know how the anime ended.
Well, the way they ended that season, they did this really cool thing where they like grayed everything out, and whatever the firebenders were shooting fire, that's where you would see color. Like it was this really cool, visually. Like it was like, it looks like old school samurai movies or something. But then the fire comes up, and you see the color comes back, and it fades away as the fire leaves. It's like, it was a pretty cool effect. Like the way it looked. Like it looked pretty cool, man. I liked it. It's nice.
That's if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of what happens in the cartoon. Like, I don't know if it happens exactly. The moon kind of starts going out or whatever. Everything turns gray, and the firebenders are the only ones I think that have color, something like that.
Yeah.
So one thing that I did read, and I wish I had pulled up the article. I don't remember where I read it though. Supposedly, they are planning to make the timeline for the live action longer.
Huh.
So the original is supposed to take place within like 3-4 months or something like that, right? Aang is supposed to learn all the 3 different elements.
Okay, the cartoon you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah. A few months.
In like 3 months or something. But for the live action, they've stated that they want to elongate it so that the actors aren't like rushed to do season after season after season.
So that they can age with it.
Yeah. And we don't have the same problem that we have with Stranger Things.
Yeah, where you have a 20-something-year-old playing a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a really smart decision.
Yeah, I agree.
And, of course, people online are like, why aren't they sticking to the timeline? Bro.
You'd have to hire new actors every single season for that to work properly. But, no, it's fine. It's fine. As long as people, basic understanding. As long as people understand that, hey, it takes time to make this. Actors are going to age. You're going to have the same effect that Harry Potter had as well.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I think they're playing this smart. I think they're making right moves. Overall, I do have a couple of complaints. Nothing major. Overall, dude, like Minarum said, I'm gonna give this a 9 so far.
Wow, that's a pretty high score.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. New high score, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10. It was very good, but like if I'm thinking live action anime, One Piece has got to take it as the 10, the score to beat.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I would put Avatar a little bit under it, but it was still very enjoyable. Still very good, very strong entry.
Okay. But yeah, One Piece. You know what? I'm gonna say I do enjoy Avatar a little bit more than One Piece at this point.
Wow. Okay.
Just a little bit more.
Fighting words right there.
Yeah. Well, everyone has their own opinion.
At AgentK at ESE
Yeah. Dick pics.
Dick
Oh my god.
But yeah. But I do enjoy the One Piece live action though. I think I just enjoy the Avatar live action just a little better.
All right.
Just a little more. Just a smidge.
Right. Once you finish, when you finish all 4, well, I'm gonna ask you, probably more likely off camera, but I'm gonna ask you if you still feel the same about that.
You know what? I'll go ahead and say it on camera.
Sounds good.
And if I have to lie about it, then I will.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I will give my 100% honest review on it. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to finish it this weekend.
Sounds good. So Avatar, thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Hell yeah.
That's that win.
I'm gonna give it a second thumbs up.
There you go.